Well, hello and welcome to the Sports Arena Chair in Niš in the south of Serbia and day 3 in the 2012 Women's European Handball Championships. My name is Paul Bray. Thanks for joining us for this Group B match between Denmark and France, the old classic encounter. We're in their opening match. Denmark threw away a 4-goal lead midway through the second half to lose to Sweden by a single goal in the end. They remain optimistic, nevertheless, for their match against France, although coach Jan Pitlick knows that this will be an extremely difficult challenge and that in order to win, all his players are going to have to perform here. France, for their part, comfortably won their opening game against Macedonia 29-13, but know that this will be a much bigger challenge here against Denmark. There's the result earlier. Sweden, in the end, overcoming Macedonia 26-15. They put up a good fight, Macedonia, until 10 minutes into the second half, and then it all went wrong. And it means Sweden are top of the group with 4 points, but they have the extra match played, of course. France are second on 2 points. Denmark and Macedonia on 0 points at the moment. They're the referees for today's match from Poland. Joanna Bremer on the right and Agnieszka Skoronek on the left. Well, a win here today for France would guarantee them a place in the main round. But it would still not mean the end for Denmark. Even if they're lost here today, the combinations remain open for both teams to go through to the next round, irrespective of the result here. But of course, it's important if you want to carry the results through to the main round. The top 3 teams in each group go through with those results with the other 2 teams, and you want to make sure that you carry through the most points possible. They will be merging with Group A in Belgrade, which also features Norway, the defending champions, and also the hosts, Serbia. Now we have the national anthems.
National anthem of Denmark.
Well, just a few Danish fans have made the trip here to Niš. A stirring rendition of the Marseillaise, and the teams are now ready to wheel around and shake hands ahead of this encounter, and they have met so many times in recent years. These 2 teams, they know each other well, even though Denmark are still going through a rebuilding phase, but remain ever so dangerous regardless. France, though, still physically strong and fit, probably one of the strongest teams in the tournament, and many observers' favourites as well to win the title. But they are in a tough group here with Sweden, Denmark alongside them. This is then the Danish lineup. Denmark's top scorer in the first match, Stina Jørgensen, took a heavy blow in the right thigh in that game, but we're told she is okay for today's game. And 21-year-old newcomer Griegel performed also really well in the opener, as did the line player Torsgaard, who scored 3 from 3, while the goalkeeper Sandra Toft ended with a respectable 37% save rate. And there she is, 1m74, 30 internationals, the new number 1 keeper for the team since Karin Mortensen's retirement after the Olympic Games. For France, well, Paul Baudouin top scored for them against Macedonia with 8 from 9 shots, including 5 penalties. But Dembele was even more impressive with 5 from 5 on the left wing. And newcomer Goyorani also gave a good account of herself with 2 goals on the line, while both goalkeepers did well against a weak Macedonian attack, Pradel in particular, saving 65% of the shots. There is Paul Baudouin, the top scorer from the first game, 514 goals in total for France in 169 appearances. That is a phenomenal record, but much is going to depend on the leadership of former world player of the year, Alison Pinault, the 23-year-old playing in the centre. Will try to drive her teammates in and put them in a good position. Well, these two teams have met a lot recently, including just 10 days ago when France beat the Danes 35-33 in the Möbelringer Cup in Norway, while back in October it was the Danes who won clearly in the Golden League tournament in Aarhus, Denmark. There is Olivier Krumholtz, coach of the French team, who was described by his counterpart today, Jan Putlik, the coach of the Danish team, as the most tactically astute coach in the competition. Well, the Polish referees are out on court, ready to get things underway here. Of course, these two teams also met at the Olympics in London in July. On that occasion, France winning 30-24. It seems they alternate. One team wins one, then the other team wins the other. The Danes will be hoping that's the case, since France, of course, won against them just 10 days ago. This could be a real good game. So here we go then. France throw off this Group B match. Second round of matches in this group. Playing in the all-blue strip from left to right. Denmark in the traditional white shirts and red shorts. They defend with a couple of players out deep to try and unsettle the build-up at the back. Trying to keep the ball going. Good solid defending early on here. Well, first long-range shot from Mariama Signate. Just given a little bit too much room, and she launches a long-range effort. Signate, 1m86, plays for Ici Paris. Did play in Denmark briefly for Aalborg, but it didn't quite work out, and she ended up coming back to Paris. Tough defending by France. Starts 6-0, but happy to go out and try and unsettle the Danes. Little push in the back by Camille Aiglon, and that'll be a free throw. The Danes rebuilding at the moment. Mixture of experienced, but also some great young players coming into the frame. We've got a yellow card for Pinault. Occupational hazard for the player who plays a key role in the centre of the defence. That the sting taken out of that one by one of the defenders. And a quick attack for France. Nina Kanto-Gitam, the Metz line player. Good feed down to her by Alison Pinault as ever. No way through. So France 2-0 up inside the 2.5 minutes. It's very early days though. And the line player steps on the line, gives the ball away cheaply. France come out again. Pinault looking for options. Aiglon now looks up, takes the shot right in the corner, and Toft beaten again. What a start by France. And Aiglon salutes the bench on the way back. And the Danes just need to settle down. They can't quite get their rhythm going at the moment. The few shots they've taken have been under pressure, all from too far out. Nearly stolen. Well, Jan Putlik, coach of the Danish team since 1999, looks on a little anxious at the moment into the wing. There's no space for the shot. France defending with a good 6-0 at the moment. Plenty of movement at the back. Passive plays being warned, the shot's needed. It goes way over the top, unfortunately, from Pernille Larsen, the Viborg left back, and France stream back in again. Inside the area. No way through. Good defending. Kanto Jitam, the line player. And we've got a yellow card now. Aiglon already pulled up a little earlier. That's a second for France, but they've laid their stall out early here. They're going to be very physical in defence, always are. Just testing the referees at this stage. That's a lot of high holding and near neck height, I'm afraid. That'll always get you sent off. And Maria Massignate is off. 2 minute suspension. Much too high. She tried to bring her arm back down again, but the harm was already done on Bjørgaard. So a chance for Denmark to try and settle into the game with the power play for the next 2 minutes. All the way through. And they do take full advantage. There's Griegel, one of the newer players in the team, just 19 internationals, but already 48 goals scored. That's before she came here. She scored 3 against Sweden. But it has taken them nearly 5 minutes to get themselves going. And with the help of a French suspension. And we have a friendly warning for Christina Bille on the far side. Oh, nice bounce shot, went around the outside. Scored by Dembele. She's been brought round to the back, interestingly. She's a winger, but when France is short-handed, they often use wingers at the back just to keep a running play going. They need that more than power when they're short-handed. And it worked very well as Baudouin stood wide and let her go through. Nice pass into the line, but under pressure, it's a penalty. The foul by Kanto Jitam. And Krumholtz remonstrates with the defence. But what a great pass in by Lotte Griegel, the 21-year-old. So for France, it's Darleux in goal, who moves right up. Doesn't do very much about it, though. Norgård scores. So back come France, and they are at full strength again. Kanto Jitam can go in. And now Pinot has moved into the left-back position while Lacrabert is in the centre. And it's going to be a yellow card for Denmark for the foul on Kanto Jitam, the line player who's played 164 times for her country, 296 goals before arriving here. Off the post, unlucky, under a lot of pressure, and the fast break is away. And Denmark are edging their way back in again. Christina Bille. It was a good long pass out, and Darleux on her own to deal with it, even from a closed angle. So France's good start, wiped away now. Shot efficiency high on both sides at the moment. Lacrabert still in the centre. Came off a defender took the sting out of the shot, and then the goalkeeper reacted really well. So Denmark can settle down a little now. The initial break not working. We're coming up to 8 minutes played. France leading 4-3 against the Danes. Proved to be an expensive 2-minute suspension for them, just as they were doing well. And now they're level. Nice shot from the back. Louise Burgos again. France have it all to do again, having gone 3-0 up in a very quick flurry inside 2.5 minutes. Kantogitam turns beautifully. And it's the same provider. Alison Pinault passes the ball in. Little side pass. And it took the defender, Torsgaard, by surprise. Well, at the moment, Jan Putlik trying to get the attention of Lotte Griegel, the playmaker. Just trying to get her to call the move. 9 minutes played. We've already had 9 goals. Griegel comes around. Wrong hand for her. Looking for the Kempe. Didn't work. Oh, off the post. And 2 chances missed now for France from very good angles. That's the captain, Raphaël Tervel. Number 20, right in the corner. Into the wing, nicely done. Saved this time and kept in play. Darleux, who plays the club handball in Denmark for Viborg. Current championship leaders. Free throw. Good defensive work there by Pernille Larsen, the 28-year-old, also from Viborg. Not the only French player in Denmark, Darleux. They also have Siraba Dembele, the left winger, who plays for Randers, the Danish champions. And a yellow card for Lotte Griegel. Doesn't even look at the referee. Annoyed at giving away the penalty. There it is again, an easy decision for the Polish referee. Position just there, her arm completely locked as she tried to go through. 10 minutes played then. Penalty will be taken by Paul Baudouin. And scores. Got 5 in their opening match against Macedonia. Out of her total haul of 8 goals in that match, 6-4, France are leading. Always had very close games, these teams. And high scoring as well, when you think that 10 days ago France won 35-33 in Norway in the Möbelringer Cup, on their way to winning that tournament with wins over not only Denmark but Sweden and Norway. Denmark, though, came second. After their defeat against France, they won, though, against Norway and Sweden, which is a great performance from this young Danish side that only has 6 players remaining from their Olympic squad. Putlik really is digging deep to refresh them. 2 new keepers, Toft and Greve. And then he's got some great new young players. Griegel, of course, one of them. Raholt, Block Sørensen. All players who are surely going to make a big name for themselves. Nicely done. Defence completely absent on that one as Torsgaard, one of the experienced players, leads the way. Split the defence on that one. Tervel's picked up a yellow card, incidentally. That's France's 3rd for a foul on the last one. And Denmark have now switched to a very deep defence. 1 player at the front, but a second one pushing deep when needed. Into the wing. Oh, and again off the corner. And France are missing too many shots at the moment when they're opening up the defence. Inside post was begging for that shot. And they're just being a little bit too costly with their finishing. 60% success rate still, but it started at 80. It's just dwindling away at the moment for France. Oh, and a mistake. They'll get the ball back though in time. They have to come back again. Burgos picks up the loose one. Griegel has now moved to the left. Nice into the wing. Closed angle, and Darleux commits herself, drops her arms. Mistake on her part, and Nørgaard benefits, and it's all square once more. Second goal for Nørgaard, 29-year-old. He's scored 300 goals for Denmark in 74 appearances. She's the highest scorer, in fact, in the Danish team, behind Augustensen, the left winger, who's got 235 goals in, however, just 69 appearances. There's Tervel, the French captain, who did announce she was going to retire after the Olympics, but so disappointed at losing the quarterfinals to Montenegro, when she felt they had a good chance of making it to the podium, that she decided, when asked by the coach, to say, well, I'll do one more championship and that will really be it. And Tervel said that this is the end of the end when Euro 2012 is over for her international career. And Denmark now take the lead. They are fighting for it. Louise Burgos. 3 goals in succession for the Danes. Her second. Krumholtz looking very pensive. They've had their chances, France. It's just not putting them away that's costing them at the moment. And they're not liking this 4-0-2 defence. Pushing very deep. And Kamto Gitan guilty of going through the area for France. They've got to bring the ball back, though, to where the foul occurred. And Toft happy to move the ball up. Goalkeeper is currently only on a 14% save rate, though. 1 from 7. Most of the other French misses have been coming off the metalwork. Into the fray comes Stine Jørgensen, their top scorer from the opening game for Denmark, number 28 at left back, bottom of the picture. Denmark will just hope that they can rattle the French. Sometimes you can just get them to go completely disorganized, and just in a matter of 10 minutes you can start to hit back. But in fact they keep their heads. And Claudine Mendy, who's just come on, 22-year-old who plays for Budućnost in Montenegro, gets them level again. Her first goal of the game. And France have changed keeper, incidentally. Linda Pradel has come in, 29-year-old who plays for Le Havre. That's the problem with Cléopâtre Darleux, the other French keeper, of course. She plays for Viborg in Denmark. They probably all know her style rather well. She has a couple of her teammates opposite today, Pernille Larsen and Louise Luxembourg. France have also switched to a deeper defence. Pinot is now at the front of a 5-1. Oh, good play to flatten the defence. Managed to smother that shot. They're trying to keep the momentum going. Good save by Toft. Just got a forearm to it. Toft, who should have been in their Olympic squad, but injured her knee just before and got replaced by Christina Pedersen. And then since the Olympics with Karin Mortensen, the legendary Danish keeper's retirement, has now become the first choice keeper. 27 internationals. The other keeper, a new one, just 20 years of age, Cecilie Greve, playing a third. Team timeout for Denmark. Jan Putlik just wants to recalibrate things with 14 minutes remaining in the first half. Well, this finely balanced game at the moment between these two teams, as they so often are, these France-Denmark encounters. They met also back in October when Denmark won the Golden League tournament in Aarhus on home soil, winning against France 32-27, and also Norway and Russia. France had a bit of a miserable tournament on that occasion. They lost not only to Denmark but to Russia as well, and then picked themselves up to be the defending European champions Norway in the final game. So team timeout just about over. Nice and calm, Krumholtz. A master tactician, the best in the business, according to his counterpart today, Jan Putlik. But at the end of the day, as a coach, you can only do so much. You're not the one on court trying to put the ball in the back of the net. For Denmark, a few changes then. Christina Christiansen has now come into the central role. Still with Jørgensen to her left. And on the right-hand side, it's Lina Jørgensen, her namesake. He had a bit of a miserable second half against Sweden and fumbled the ball a couple of times at critical moments as they gave away a lead to go down by 1 goal against their Scandinavian neighbours. Second time Stina Jørgensen launches a sky shot there, and Krumholtz urges his players forwards. Eglon. Oh, good save by Toft again. Although Eglon has taken a blow in the process and stays down. Toft slowly improving. She's up to 30% save rate now. But anxious moments for the French team as Camille Eglon, the 27-year-old from Nîmes, takes a heavy blow. Sent absolutely flying. And looks like she wants to stay on. Olivier Krumholtz for now. Looks relatively calm. Turmoil all internal. And so it's still 7-7 here in Nice. Second matches for these teams. A win for France will guarantee them a place in the main round. And that pass goes wayward, unfortunately. But whatever result here today, both teams will still be in with a chance to go through to the next round. Straight into the face of Sandra Toft. The referees are quick to call on the medical team. And here it is again. She got a little bit of a push from Augustensen, which put her off balance, the French winger, Piégeot. And as a result, ironically, then put the ball straight in the face of the Danish keeper. Jan Putlik using that break in play to talk to some of his players as the young keeper from Team Tvis Holstebro receives treatment. Played in the World Championships in Brazil last year. Here it is again. It's a subtle push, but the French winger was put off balance. And it's an occupational hazard, sadly, for goalkeepers that every now and again you will get one in the face. That's unavoidable. They just need to make sure that she is definitely okay. Mind you, if they had to put in Cécile Grève, she's a great young keeper as well, but it looks like they won't need to. Sandra Toft gets up and looks like she wants to continue. So back come the Danes. We've had a bit of a stalemate situation at 7-7 now for quite a while. Into the line. Goes wide, but defending inside the area. A clear penalty for Denmark. Here it is again. She's outside the area, but the French defender, Baudouin, is definitely inside. Or Mendy, rather. So Pradel saved one penalty against Macedonia. So penalty will be taken by Anne-Grethe Nørgaard. And they take the lead again. Nørgaard's third goal. Well, the Danes were absolutely beside themselves after losing to Sweden on the opening day. They'd had a 5-goal lead in the game, and in fact a 4-goal lead midway through the second half. Lacrabert in the centre. Quick switch back. Pinot. Lacrabert looking to the line, but Kamto Gitam couldn't get up fast enough to get the ball. There's a foul anyway, and a free throw has been given. Lacrabert. Pinot. And once more, too many steps, they say. I thought Kamto Gitam had been caught out. Back come Denmark. They love the breaks. The wingers are free. Didn't get the ball, though. Too many steps, is it? No. Forcing her way through. Jørgensen. Let's have a quick look and see ran straight at the defender. It's Larsen, Pernille Larsen. Well, I have to say that didn't particularly look that way. Those are the turnovers, but in the tournament, that's over 2 matches. Team timeout for France now. Well, both teams cancelling each other out. Long spells without any goals here. It's quite notable. I mean, you were seeing 3 to 4 minutes between goals at the moment. Now clearly concerned about the line player Susan Torsgaard, who's certainly is having a great tournament. She scored 3 from 3 in the match against the Swedes, and then she scored 1 again here today, but she's grabbed a couple of them and 1 penalties. She's a big line player, 1 meter 88, 80 kilos, and able to hold her own in there and sneak the ball. But France are struggling against this 4-2 defence that the Danes also used against Sweden, although they relaxed a little bit on that in the second half. Space in the middle, and that's always a danger. A push on Lacrabert as she broke through, although Toft made a good save. Lacrabert looks to the line, well stolen. It's taken again. And through the legs by Mariama Signate. Scored the opening goal and makes it 2 now. France pushing very deep. Pinot is out at 10, 11 meters sometimes, trying to push the Danes back. Great shot. No one went up to her, and the Danish fans love it. Pernille Larsen, the Viborg back player, gets her first of the game. 20 minutes played then, nothing in it. Change the line player for France. Kanto Gitam has been replaced by Goyorani, one of the debutants. And Denmark on the break, and they're nailing it home now. Bonde Pedersen. Well, with these teams, in fairness, likely to go through, Macedonia do look like the underdogs in this group. This result is very likely to be taken through to the main round. France will be disappointed as one of the favourites if they drop the points here, but it was always going to be a difficult game. They knew it. Hit straight back. And great spirit in the team, and it's Bonde again. The throw taken before the French could get settled. 2 goals in quick succession for the 28-year-old who plays for Frederiksberg. She was in the Olympic team, a late replacement for Louise Spelleberg, who was injured just before they departed for London. 3 fast breaks, but that's their stock in trade, the Danes running the fast break. Lacrabert, Signate. Lacrabert looks for the line, came off a foot. Whistle goes belatedly from the Polish referees. And Goyorani drops back in. Trying to pass the ball into the line, but good defence again. Pernille Larsen preventing any movement from Lacrabert. Lacrabert fumbles the ball. Still within a 3 steps, say the referees, and that clips the bar. And the clock has to be stopped while the ball's retrieved from the stands. A hard shot, but it just clipped the top. And the ball eventually works its way back down to Sandra Toft, making a 4th save. Although the woodwork has intervened now 4 times for France, and it's their finishing that's going to ultimately prove to be their undoing. They're down to 53%, having been at 80% at the beginning when they had their really good spell to go 3-0 up. The Danes outperforming them in that area now with a 61% success rate on their shooting. Free throw. Into the centre now, Christina Christiansen tries to direct operations. Larsen switches over. She goes in on the line now. No way through to the line for once. Torsgaard can't get it. And the long pass forwards goes too long. Denmark get it straight back, and France still wasteful. Augustensen couldn't do much with it that time. Oh, that was lucky. Seemed to go through the keeper, but it goes wide. The shot by Biele. There's confirmation, the shot efficiency. Denmark has just pulled back a little to 58 now after that last miss. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Lacrabert, when she's given the space, she'll put them away. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and for once the defender didn't come out. Larsen gave her too much space. Lacrabert and Goyorani not being used in defence at the moment. Torsgaard gets the penalty. It was a good save by Pradel. See it again, the ball goes into her. And the Polish referees had no hesitation whatsoever. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. A chance to go back 2 in front for Denmark. Nørgaard manages to force it through. Pradel, I think, got a foot to it. No, she didn't. It was the bounce. Number 4 for Nørgaard. Aiglon looking for the line. Goyorani being pulled back away from the ball. It's a free throw. Goyorani has to come out to help. They're all getting stuck into the defence. Very physical defending by Denmark at the moment. This time it's Bonde Pedersen who grabs Goyorani and decks her. Free throw. 5 minutes remaining. Denmark still in front. And again, free throw for France. Denmark are defending really well at the moment. Goyorani, great save, and Denmark have picked up the loose ball. And they score on the break, and they are playing so smoothly at the moment. She started it. Toft save. Point blank range. And you miss. And 4 seconds later, the ball's in at the other end. Lyskebø, the scorer. Being used exclusively in defence at the moment, and we've got a 2-minute suspension for Denmark. Pernille Larsen, 28-year-old from Viborg, veteran of 2 World Championships, 1 European and also the Olympics in London, catches Aiglon too high. Same situation as Baudouin earlier. No ill intention, but it's just too high. And the French playing really wide. Beautifully lobbed. And that's Paul Baudouin, the left winger from Metz. Played for a bit in Denmark for Esbjerg. Still though, Denmark lead by 2. Danish fans trying to lift the spirits of their team as they play short-handed still for another minute and 25 seconds. French playing very aggressively now, pushing very deep. And they've just stopped the clock because the throw was being taken from the wrong place by Torsgaard. It's another free throw. Well, the Polish referee's a bit quick on the whistle in this game. There have been quite a few breaks when play could have continued. And the Danes doing well here. They're running the clock down. As Blandine Dansette, the Nîmes defender, urges her teammates. Clock has been stopped again. Still 50 seconds, but the Danes have run down 40 seconds already, but passive play is being warned against them now. And the shot taken a long time after the whistle goes. And the clock is finally stopped as the Danes take their time with it, and they've been given a very long attack. It's nearly a minute on that one. Well, Baudouin actually skidding on the sweat on the floor there from the winger going down. So Torsgaard waiting to take the throw. The Danes really running the clock well on Larsson's penalty, and not only that, but they end up scoring after having wasted a minute on the clock. Couldn't have been better if they tried. Little windmill to go around. Pradel comes out. And Burgos puts the ball over her for her third goal. And a penalty. Signaté breaking through and being fouled by Louise Burgos on the line. Clock has been stopped as we wait for Paul Baudouin probably to come on. She cuts back inside again. But she's held, and the defender's also standing well inside. So a chance for France to bring it back to within two. The change of goalkeeper for Denmark made no difference. Cecilie Greve just went down a little too quickly. Almost looks as if she slipped. And Baudouin scores her third goal. And we have 2 minutes remaining. Danes, we've been holding a 2-goal lead for a little while now. Into the wing. And Jan Putlik trying to build a team for the future. That goes wide. Nothing's given. We've got a player injured and the clock's going to be stopped immediately. Not least because it's I think it's Louise Burgos. And Jan Putlik upset with the referees over what he felt should have been a free throw called just before the shot was taken. And he has a word with Joanna Bremer, one of the Polish referees, as she comes past. And it was for an earlier foul there by Signaté, as Burgos started the run. Burgos seems okay. Well, in fact, she's going to come off at the instigation of the coach, who's saying, no, you can't, come over here. I'm going to sub you, and it means that Lena Jørgensen may well be the one that goes on to cover for her. 1.5 minutes remaining then. France having to work really hard around this 4-2 defence by Denmark. And a foul on Lacrabert. Lacrabert cuts back inside again, and there's a bit of space now. It wasn't a great shot, I have to say, by Nyabuyu, who's just come on. Very half-hearted as we get to the last minute of the first half. Long attack by Denmark as ever. This has not been a particularly high-scoring first half. After a quick start, it's slowed down a bit. Dominated by defences and also quite a few technical mistakes on both sides. Denmark looking to make this the last attack maybe and get a shot in and not allow the French to get back at them. Foul by Aiglon and Pinot combined that's given the free throw for Denmark. 20 seconds. They got time. They don't need to rush it, France. And they've given it away. That's exactly what they shouldn't have done. And instead, Denmark go in front. France, their own undoing, unfortunately for them on that one. And so instead of getting back to within one, they've gifted a 3-goal lead to Denmark at the interval here in Nice. They had so much more time than they thought, and they poorly delivered back pass, thrown straight in front of Burgos, set her away. And it's Denmark who are leading France 15-12 at half-time in this Group B match. We knew it would be a good game, and it certainly has delivered. And these teams have so often given us very close encounters. 52% success rate on Denmark's attacks, France only 40%, and a lot of their shooting has been wayward. If they put their field throws away, they're on 48%. It would be a different game altogether for the French. 7 turnovers apiece, and only just the one suspension on each side so far. This is the progression of play, and you can see long breaks in the scoring on both sides, as the defences have really been in evidence here for both Denmark and France in this game. So top scoring are Burgos and Norgård for Denmark with 4 goals apiece, while Baudouin is the best of the French with 3 goals ahead of Signaté and Kanto-Gitam on 2 goals apiece. And this is where the goals came from. 3 penalties, 5 fast breaks, and that's the telling point when France are making their mistakes, and 4 from the line as well. Torsgaard in particularly good form for France. Well, it's all coming in close. Only 1 fast break, 2 penalties, but otherwise it's the left back and the line that are having most success. So half-time is 15-12 to Denmark. We'll take a short break. Join us again for the second half. So welcome back to the Sports Arena Chair in Nice, and half-time in the second match of the day in Group B. After Sweden effortlessly disposed of Macedonia earlier today, Denmark are leading against France 15-12. France, their own worst enemy in the first half, and they're going to be putting Darleux back in. I'm afraid the goalkeepers have had a miserable day for the French, a 6% save rate only between them. Darloux's made 1 save from 7. Pradel replaced her and has made none from 9. Here we go then with Denmark throwing off the second half. They had a 2-goal lead. France on the attack with 15 seconds remaining managed to throw the ball away and concede a fast break just when they needed to keep a cool head. And despite all their physique and fitness, the French psychologically have always had that little bit to them where they lack the discipline and they can lose their way. Their passing goes to pot, and it really is. It's got to be sorted out. For Denmark, they've been working really hard as a team. Oh, and a break here on the rebound. And it's become a 4-goal lead. Nørgaard gets the 5th of the game. And it's all going Denmark's way. France, who hit the woodwork 4 times in the first half, early on when they could have really nailed home the advantage. Have they got the strength of character to come back from what looks like a difficult situation here? Looking for the line. Kanto Jitam back in on the line. Nice pass in by Aiglon. She was held very high around the neck. Nothing given though by the referees. Meanwhile, France have won the ball back. Good save by Toft. A poor shot by Maria Massignate. Straight to the feet of the keeper. She didn't actually move. And they're rushing their attacks, and that's where they're suspect. Payon say the referees. The ball moving nicely for Denmark at the moment. And just as I said, a bit of a fumble and a double dribble. Now they've got to really apply themselves. That's nicely done. Good pass in. Dembele finishes the job off with her 2nd of the game. Dervel takes it, but it's Pinot once more who makes a clever pass. There wasn't a lot of space to get it through to her. Dembele, who plays in Denmark for Rannes. And that last pass just not making it through to the line. Riegel is back on again. Playmaking, the 21-year-old newcomer from Esbjerg. Came to the Euro 2012 with just 19 behind her. Fantastic shot. Louise Burgaard. And she gets her 5th. Straight over the head of Darleux, the goalkeeper. France, of course, who lost their number 1 goalkeeper, Amandine Leno, tore her cruciate ligaments even before she started playing for a new club, Olkim Vulcha. Maria Massignate, though, pulls one back for France at the other end. It's her 3rd of the game from 6 shots. And the Danes have given it away cheaply, and while they look to the referee, and the French again with this clumsy passing, they were lucky not to lose possession. The Danes so quick to latch onto these loose balls. But a lot of turnovers on both sides. So Lacrabert in the centre. Aiglon. And she goes straight through the defence. No one picked her up. Denmark put Suzanne Torsgaard back in on the line. 1 goal lead now, but they need their goalkeepers to pick up the tempo. A 6% save rate only. 1 save from 18 shots. Danes becoming very economical, playing a little too close to the French defence. Get away with it though, it's a free throw. looking to the line. It's stolen. And now they've got to stay applied. And a little push on Dembele is enough to force the free throw. Job done for the Danes. And they'll have to build up again, France. And maybe it's for their own good. And the Danes still with this 4-2 defence, which the French have really, really struggled with. And it means the line player has to constantly come out to help. It's gone in, though. Kanto Gitam gets her fourth. And they've scored 3 in succession. And the hard work of the Danes is undone. And too many steps. Concentration's gone a little. And from the side, Krumholtz, slow the pace down. Don't try and rush on every attack. The Danes love a fast game. They've got to try and spread themselves at the back, the French, with this 4-2 defence, to try and pull this defence as much as they can. Foul on Iglon, it'll be a free throw. The Danes started 6-0, but when they switched to 4-2, things started happening for them. They were stealing the ball, 5 fast breaks in the first half, and the French started panicking with that quick passing, and that's where they showed this psychological frailty that can be there for them sometimes. A little push in the back. It's another free throw. The foul by Lotte Griegel, the 21-year-old. Quick throws taken, doesn't fool Toft, although she can only parry the ball into the side, and it's a throw-in. France keep possession. Build from a long way out. Switch back onto the wing. She was running out of options. And passive play is being warned against the French. Good defence by Denmark. Larsen, as ever, in the thick of the Danish defence. It's cost her a 2-minute suspension in the process. Lacrabert, oof, wayward. Well, they've certainly developed a very good defence, the Danes. Torsgaard nearly getting a touch on that ball. Lucky she didn't. Keeps possession for the Danes, who won the European Championships in 2002. They were silver medalists 2 years later in 2004. They hosted the final 2 years ago in 2010. Unfortunately lost in the semi-final and then also lost out in the bronze medal playoff to finish fourth. And too many steps again. Unforced errors by the Danes now. Just when they're working so well in defence and putting the French under pressure, they can't get the attacks to work. Pinot, and again the coach has to shout from the bench, calm it down. The Danes are loving this. They're trying to rush the French, and they're certainly rattling them. 13 turnovers now suffered by the Danes. Several already now in this second half with just silly steps. Lacrabert, now she's got space. Off the post. And so from 14-17 down, France now lead 18-17. Is it a timeout? It would be opportune, I would say, at this point, as Lacrabert celebrates a second goal. And indeed, Jan Putlik has called a timeout. Alexandra Lacrabert scoring that last one. She plays for Zvenigorod in Russia. Well, Denmark, their defence, faultless, absolutely spot on. And the intensity of the defence is making the French rush. And although it may sound strange for a team that's so good, they are physically strong and fit, but actually their passing is what's suspect. They start to rush, and it's when they start to rush, because they are so fit and they're so eager to get in there, that they make the mistakes. And the Danes know that. They're trying to up the tempo all the time, and the French are falling into that trap in attack. They've been let off the hook, though, with the Danes making unforced errors and allowing the French to come back at them. And they've now scored 4 goals in quick succession. The French to come from 3 behind to lead by 1 now. So I think the focus for Olivier Krumholtz really is around the attack, giving them the options in attack. I'm sure they talked about them at half-time, and they will have talked about them before the game, because this is no surprise. Denmark have been practicing this 4-2 for some time. They used it in the Möbelringer tournament. So Denmark have now put Line Jørgensen into the frame. Her namesake Stine Jørgensen is there as well, number 28. She'll be the left back. Stina on the right, long-range shot, saved. Only the second save of the game for Darleux. Maybe that'll kickstart her. Mendy tries to go all the way through into the wing. There's a bit of space now, and it goes in. Scored by Blandine Dansette. Her first goal of Euro 2012. The 24-year-old who plays for Nîmes. 5 goals without reply, and Denmark haven't scored for 6 minutes. They've lost possession. Unfairly, say the referees. The foul called against the captain, Tervel, who plays the club handball for Győrieto in Hungary, the number 20. He's travelled a fair bit. Played a bit in Norway and in Spain as well. And again, Darleux makes a save, the Danish-based French keeper. And still Olivier Krumholtz can't resist calling out, calm, calm. Pinot is round. Couldn't quite get her balance enough though. Good save by Sandra Toft, and back come Denmark. Ball's loose, picked up though into the wing. And this time it does go through. And after 7 minutes without scoring, Nørgaard gets them going again. Sixth goal for her, and they're just one behind now. Poor shot by her. She didn't have to do it under pressure. And again, there's that psychological element to the game. Danes on the break, and they're level again. Nicely done, Line Jørgensen. 19 all. And it's that quick. Cécilie Greve in goal. Just 20 years of age, the Danish keeper who's just replaced Toft. 3 internationals for Denmark before coming here. And another good save. Oh, what a great entrance by the youngster. Plays for Odense. Mendy goes in on the line instead to try and flatten the defence. Pinot. Ah, beautiful. It's that kind of shooting that got her voted World Player of the Year in 2009. Pinot, who plays for Olchim Vâlcea in Romania, joined them this year from Metz, where she should have been playing alongside a teammate, national team teammate Amandine Leno, the goalkeeper, until she tore her cruciate ligaments in training before the season even got underway. Tervel, now there's a bit of space as she comes out. She failed to get the ball and paid the price. Christiansen finds a way through, and Denmark are up and running again. The 23-year-old who plays for Team Twist Holstebro. Shot efficiency, well, France still around 54%. Denmark is improving at 65%. 12 minutes into the second half, still all square here. France now have Maria Massignati in the centre as Pinot has gone to the left-back position. Lacrabert looking for the line, completely failed. Denmark have got it now. Christiansen looks for options. Goes wide. Stina Jørgensen, namesake, and that goes in. Nicely done. Line Jørgensen. And they thought that should have been a 2-minute suspension as well. So after a brief lead by the French, Denmark go back in front again. Tried to break through Dembele. Hoped she might get the penalty otherwise, but couldn't get through. And again, a poor shot by Signate, who's proving to be expensive at the back. She's shooting straight down the middle all the time, the tall, athletic back player. And Greve makes a comfortable save. Change on the line for Denmark. Mette Greiholt, one of the new players, comes in, just 7 internationals. Straight into play, got the ball but puts it wide, a let-off for the French. That's more like it for France. Aiglon comes all the way around from her right back positioning on the line. It's a difficult angle, but she does it well. Third goal for her. It's all square again. So Christina Christiansen in the centre. Into the line, beautifully done. Oh, off the post, unlucky. French pick up the loose ball now. Pinault decides to slow it down, and very, very wisely. And she goes off, having done her job. There's always that danger. The Danes like this pace. They're trying to force it and encourage the French to do it. France changed the line now, and Julie Goyorani goes back in. And she's got the ball, couldn't quite control it. Signate mustn't be tempted into shooting. She's held all the way by Christiansen, and she gets the free throw. Team timeout called almost exactly on the midway point of the second half. And France are looking a little bit without ideas in attack against this 4-2 defense by the Danes. He's asking for more determination effectively in the attack, because with this 4-2 defence, because they are playing it very deep, the Danes, but more so on one side onto the French left back than on the right back. He wants that space exploited, the gap in between the two front defenders. But at the moment the French are trying to drive in, but it's not always really as determined a drive as he wants. And Lacrabert gets a little pat on the back there from the assistant coach to the team, because she's the one who's got to deliver that extra drive. Well, after the earlier match, which was a comfortable win for Sweden, 26-15 against Macedonia to book their place in the next round, this a much closer affair, as we knew it would be. Too close to call. Lacrabert. Signate. And she puts it on the post, and I'm afraid her shooting stats are not going to make particularly pretty reading. She got none from 3 against Macedonia in the first one, and Darleux makes a good save. Tried to put the ball over her head. Didn't come off this time. Signate, who's on a 33% success rate now, the French left back, 3 from 9 in this game. Temptation would really be to try and bring in Mendy in that position. Looks to the line. Nicely done. She almost had too much time, Goyorani, the new line player for France. It was a slow motion shot, but great delivery once more by Alison Pinault, the French playmaker. Into the wing. And she often goes low, Darleux, when she comes out on the wing. She drops her arms early. And as she does so, the ball goes straight over her head from Christina Bille. Second of the game for Bille, and it's all square once more. And they've given possession away. Denmark force out now. They've got the overlap if they want it. France coming in, and in the end, Piégeot, the winger, coming back, stifles the attack to give time for teammates to get organised. So in on the line goes Mette Graafholt. No change in the shooting efficiency. Change the direction by Stine Jørgensen into the wing. There's no space for the shot though. Stine Jørgensen thinks about the shot. And it's called as a double dribble. And they're saying she was inside the area. They won't give her the goal, but they've given the penalty, I think. And a 2-minute suspension. And Christina Bieler has been given a 2-minute suspension. But I do wonder if she really was inside the area. She was certainly being fouled. And she had landed. Good call by the Polish referees. They're saying you'd landed. I can't give that to you. It has to be a penalty. This has to make sure she puts it away now. So Baudouin steps up once more. And France missed the chance to take the advantage. Her first penalty miss. And France will feel hard done by after scoring the goal under pressure. Passive play will come soon. Here it goes. The arm goes up for the referee and the pass goes wide. It's a free throw for Denmark. But last time they had a 2-minute suspension for Larsen. They managed to run the clock down really well and then scored right at the end. France completely unable to take advantage, and the ball goes out of play, say the referees. And they've got to keep it calm now. They're going to be facing a 5-0 defence more than likely. Cléopâtre Darleux looks on, slightly improving in the second half. She's now made 4 saves, up to 28% save rate. Lacrabert into the wing. And it's off the post again. Greve proving to be a real thorn in the side for the French with a 60% save rate. And Baudouin misses a penalty and now misses the wing shot as well. And Denmark surely will be able to run the clock down now on the suspension. Fans are loving it. Well, Darleux is slightly out of position, so when she got her hand to Christiansen's shot, she could only deflect it back into her own goal. And she does bring her hands in. She does the same on the wing shots, and there you got to keep them up and wide. And that's a slight downside to her style. And Denmark back to full strength. And just as last time, when they got a 2-minute suspension and a power play, France don't capitalise, and instead it's Denmark who scored. Now they've given the ball away cheaply. And in a minute, Denmark take a 2-goal lead. Nørgaard. So despite the suspension, it's the Danes who've scored 3 on the trot. Nørgaard is on 7 goals now. Krumholtz. Well, Krumholtz yelling to Alison Pino to not just go straight in at the defence, look for the gaps. Into the wing. Save by Greve. What a game she's having. And back come Denmark, buoyed by the performance of their keepers. Good save this time, but Denmark had picked up the loose ball. 9 minutes remaining in the game. Denmark lead by 2. Clock's been stopped. Bit of moisture on the ground to be mopped up. Good defending as well by Nørgaard, who really put the winger under pressure. Well, Lyksborg made sure she got on the other side for any loose balls, and it paid off. Too far for the line player. Tervel looks for options up front. Wisely puts it back. It would have been a risky one. Free throw. A foul on Claudine Mendy, 22-year-old who plays in Montenegro for Budućnost. Baudouin comes out, but is being substituted off anyway. Gets replaced once more by Dembele. Dembele goes in, try and help flatten the defence a little bit more. The Danes have gone back to 6-0, but there's lots of depth on that defence. That's a nice feed into the line for Kanto Gitam. Fifth goal for the line player. Tries to get free. Good defence. 7.5 minutes remaining. 1 goal in it. Burgos. Oh yes, beautifully done. The French flat-footed, and Burgos just went straight for the centre. Right into the corner. And the French goalkeeper still on low stats, 19% save rate. That's very low. But the Danes will say, well, we made sure that when we did do it, it counted, and that's a penalty. Defending inside the area on Kanto Gitam. Louise Burgos, the 20-year-old from Team Twist, holds the ball caught well inside, in fact holding around the neck. She's probably lucky to even be staying on, given some of the earlier decisions by the Polish referees, and change the goalkeeper. Greve will come back out, and Toft goes in. So can the 23-year-old save, and bravely Baudouin, who missed the last penalty, wants to have another go. Coolly done. Just broke her wrist, effectively tipped it back, ran the ball off her fingers, and it just spins gently over the top of the goalkeeper. But still, it's Denmark who lead. Wisely pulling back. Attacking foul, tried to change direction, but Burgos ended up running straight into the French defender. Calm it down, says the coach once more, as Iglon brings the ball over to the side. 6 minutes remaining. Krumholtz pacing up and down the bench. They're still playing deep, the defence, Denmark, but it's a kind of a 4-2, but they're restricting it to 9 metres now. They're not going out as far as they did early on in the game, even though the French didn't like it. And a misunderstanding there. Mendy thought she was putting the block on the line for her to go round. Instead, it was the pass to her, and they paid the price at the other end. Denmark score for another 2-goal lead. Christiansen. Third goal for her. Five minutes remaining. Denmark to get the Euro 2012 campaign back on track again after defeat against Sweden. And France score, but it won't count. There's Darleux at the other end with trademark spectacles. And a penalty. Kanto Gitam fouled after she'd managed to turn the play. And what a great second half the line player from Metz is having. 296 goals she scored for her country in 164 appearances. But they still have to score the penalty. Cécilie Grève this time will stay in goal as Baudouin steps up. And she scores and they're back to within one. But the problem is for the French, they can't get past the Danes at the moment. They get close and then the Danes open it up again. They haven't got enough discipline to maintain that pace consistently. Less than 4 minutes remaining. Oh, and the ball's fumbled and it's taken now. They've got to make sure that they don't rush it too much. Tervel. And they've levelled it on the break. Tervel took the ball up, passed it out to Dansette on the wing. And it's 26-all. Under a lot of pressure and a team timeout called by Jan Putlik for Denmark. It's finally poised here in Nice. This surely is a result that will be carried into the next round. It's critical for both teams to try and take as many points. This group in Nice will merge with the Group A in Belgrade, which features the defending champions, in fact 4 times champions, Norway, host nations Serbia, Czech Republic and the Ukraine. 3 of those teams coming through, and then they will merge into a group of 6 in the main round. We already know in this group, though, that Sweden are going through to the main round. So 3.5 minutes remaining. It's all very, very precise what he wants. So here we go then. Denmark on the attack, all square in Group B. Tervel occasionally pulling out suddenly to try and unsettle or steal the ball. Nearly going out of play. Free throw for Denmark. France have to fall back in defence again. Putlik yelling to his players. 3 minutes to go. Whistle's already gone. It'll be a throw for Denmark. Mendy looks over to the bench. I think asking the defenders to move a little further back. 3 meters away, please, says the referee. Into the wing. Oh, and she landed back inside again. Tried to steal the ball from the winger. Dansette, close, but not close enough. Into the line goes Graveholt. Ah! Well, that was such a soft shot by Larsen. And I think it sums up the goalkeeper's day. She flounders in goal, Darleux. Second goal for Larsen. Christiansen started going down, holding her head until she realised they had the ball and got up and started running again. Could that be it? Lina Jørgensen being teed up to go back on again on the next attack. We're into the last 2 minutes. Denmark lead by 1. Shot efficiency hasn't changed. The Danes still more efficient than the French with their shooting, and if that goes in, and it does, sums up their story really. Burgaard, number 7 for her. Nice height. The French closed too late. And a team timeout now called by Krumholtz. They have 1 minute and 43 or 53 seconds, in fact, remaining. You can see Goyorani there with the yellow bib on. What France will do, it looks like, will be to take out their goalkeeper. to add a bit of bite to the attack. It's a danger, of course. You leave the goal open at the back, and if you lose possession, the Danes have a clear run. But Denmark, well, I do wonder if they've done enough now with so little time remaining. But the goal from Larsen that got Denmark back in front again, such a soft shot, and Darleux flaying at it. I'm afraid 24% save rate, not enough. France have taken out their goalkeeper. Goyorani in the yellow is on the line as an extra player. The ball is stolen. France have it back again. 1.5 minutes to go. Time is tight for France. They got to shoot. Danes push up one in defence. 5-1. Lacrabert. No one seems to want to shoot. Someone's got to take responsibility. And it's saved. Cécilie Greve, the 20-year-old, may well have won the game for Denmark. The French, no one wanted to take responsibility. In the end, Mendy goes in. It's a poor shot straight into the goalkeeper, and the Danes are celebrating on the bench already. France go full court. And they've lost the ball. Taking too long on the attack. That's one back, 40 seconds remaining. Denmark will take their time unless the French can persuade the referees to stop the clock. That's the kind of responsibility they had to take about 40 seconds ago. Dembele, the scorer. Denmark have got to run this down now, or a goal now would finish it. Free throw, that's perfect. No, it's an attacking foul. France then, could they do it? The goalkeeper's got to get off. They want to get Goyorani. Oh, it's off the post, but it's still in play. 3 seconds to go. And Cécilie Greve saves it, and Denmark have beaten France after a frenetic end to this Group B match. And the goalkeeper has performed superbly. One of the new band of players coming along, and the Danish fans are ecstatic. They've beaten the tournament favourites, France. Cécilie Greve. 2 fine saves late on. France could have shared the points, and instead this will be, I'm sure, a result to go into the next round. The French trying to put a brave face on it, but Denmark played superbly. The deep defence unsettled the French. The French were their own worst enemy. They were not disciplined enough, and it didn't help that their goalkeepers had a nightmare day for a combined 18% save rate. Compare that with 39% save rate for the Danish keepers. And Cécilie Greve rightly will get the plaudits from her teammates here today. Well, the group remains wide open to see who's going to take the points into the next round. Denmark have put behind them the defeat against Sweden on the opening day. And the French will be absolutely gutted. They had a chance right at the end in that melee, that disorganized melee, to somehow salvage a point. Well, what a game it's been. We knew it would be. And these teams delivered. Denmark 28, France 27 here in Nice. Pinot can't even bear to stay in the lineup. She's pacing. It's Dembele, in fact. Absolutely beside herself. 44% success rate on their attacks for France, 47 for Denmark. Not hugely high, but if you look at the field throws, the Denmark were on 62%. And despite 20 turnovers, they still win the game. The French keepers completely off today, I'm afraid. And the French just couldn't get well enough organised against this 4-2 defence. This is how it went. Well, early on, the French were doing really well. They got back into it. 5 goals in succession. They even took the lead by 2. But the Danes settled themselves down, and in the end, they won the game. Burgos and Nørgaard, as they were at half-time, still the top scorers at the end with 7 goals apiece. For France, it's Baudouin and Kanto Gitam. And it means that Denmark and France are now in joint second place behind the Swedes. Here's where the shot came from for Denmark. Well spread out across the court, but 7 fast breaks, and they scored them all, and that made the difference for Denmark every time France made all those technical mistakes they had in the game. for France. We'll look at the centre there. It all came on the line. Kanto Gitama has been busy, but at the back it wasn't successful enough, or on the wings for that matter. And this is how it looks then. Sweden are through with 4 points, but France and Denmark and Macedonia, any one of those could go through to the main round. It'll all come down to the last day of matches in the preliminary stages. Hope you've enjoyed the game. That's it from us here tonight in Nice. Thanks again for watching, but for now, for me, Paul Bray, good night.